Yes, sir. What is going on, y'all? Happy Tuesday to everybody. March 3rd, 2020. Continuing right along with the cross-promotional stuff with the Coach Coob podcast and Coob's Corner. We are on episode number 111 of the Coach Coob podcast and Coob's Corner number 8. But posting the audio for Coob's Corner on the podcast here as well to expose some different people who aren't already subscribed on YouTube to the audio and the more organic conversations that I'm having on here. So if you guys have not already subscribed either on YouTube and or the podcast, please do so because again, we're just growing this thing even bigger and better than we already have, and things are only going up from here when it comes to that stuff. So please subscribe if I've brought you any value, you think it's going to interest you, or if you know somebody that it might interest as well, please send it their way, and I would really appreciate that stuff. So we're going to kick this thing off. We're going to keep it rocking. We're going to jump right into it and see what we can find. Okay, so the first thing that I got for you guys, actually the first two things is going to come from a book called Originals, How Innovators Kind of Changed the World. And the third thing is going to be an idea that I thought of / heard in a video this morning as well. Okay, so the first one is this, coming from the book Originals again. And the quote and the idea kind of goes like this: good and bad experiences are amplified when we do them together with other people. Good and bad experiences are amplified. The feelings and the emotions that come with it are amplified when we experience it with other people, therefore finding more similarity with those people as well. So what's the idea behind this? What are they getting at with this? What can we learn from this idea and this quote? And what I got out of it is this: when we experience good and bad stuff with a team or in a class, whether it's a classroom setting at school, a sports team, maybe a club or a certain church group or what have you, again, the good or bad stuff that we experience together brings us closer together because of the shared emotion and feeling that comes with it, right? So I'll be the first one to say I'm the biggest advocate for working out alone, for learning alone, for being alone to learn more about ourselves when it comes to just about every single situation, because I think the things we learn from those situations are going to be able to be utilized no matter what. But at the same time, I'm also not naive or ignorant to the idea that doing things together as a group is going to enhance cohesion and learning in a different capacity as well. So I love this idea this morning because, again, I think that's why sports are so powerful. We struggle together and we go through challenge together and things are really tough and we persevere, or maybe we don't. The shared feelings and emotions only bring us closer together because we realize, one, that we are not alone in those situations, which again creates a better community in our own minds and also amongst the team and the club or the group or whatever. And at the same time, we can learn from the different people going through those same situations that we are witnessing or hearing from or just kind of being around in those same situations. So all the more, we're going through this tough stuff together, and the things that we're learning as a result just brings us closer together. So my thing is this, like, if you feel alone out there, or you feel like maybe you're the only one experiencing these certain feelings or situations, like, try to seek out certain teams or groups or clubs or whatever, because I guarantee you, no matter what, whatever you're feeling inside, or again, whether it's good or bad, like, you're not alone. You're not doing this stuff, and it's not, these feelings aren't just independent to you or solely you. Like, there's a lot of other people going through this stuff together, and whether it is good or it is bad or it's neutral, like, do it together. Do it together, because doing stuff together is only going to bring you closer together and make you realize that you are not alone, and that you can be powerful beyond belief if you get into these same groups, and you guys can learn together and grow together and lean on each other, either, again, in the good times or the bad. So I really like that one right there, because again, it was a good reminder, because I kind of do things, again, personally, a lot on my own, and sometimes I feel like I'm missing something. And I think it is that cohesion, that group, and that team setting that I could be a little bit better at sometimes. So kind of in a personal realm or a selfish realm, I really found a lot of value in that one today. So that was the first one. And then second one, the thing that I liked even better about the book Originals, again, talking about how innovators kind of change the world, and talking about group settings and how we can kind of lean on each other and learn from each other to kind of accelerate our own growth. This tactic and this idea really smacked me, because I had always thought kind of the opposite, or not necessarily the opposite, but also, or maybe even more so, just in a different angle or perspective. when it comes to the people that you want to surround yourself with. So their idea and their kind of quote was this: shared tactics are always going to trump shared goals for the most part. So that's so kind of AKA how I choose going, the how, kind of how people are going about things trumps the what or the end goal in certain situations. So for me, like, I have certain end goals in mind, and I've always thought, okay, I got to surround myself surround myself with the people who have the same ideas and end goals as me. But what they're saying is that's not necessarily the case. Is the end goal can be different, but how you go about achieving those things is who you really want to surround yourself. And there's kind of a two-part thing to this, because again, no matter what you want to achieve, if it's going to be elite or great, like, a lot of hard work and substance and character and morals has to go into play. So it doesn't necessarily have to be the same end goal, but more so how you're going about that. And if you can surround yourself with those types of people, then if it happens to kind of be the same end goal, that's a positive as well. But it doesn't have to be that. It's just how you are going about your business. Surround yourself with people who want to be elite no matter what the entity is. And I love that. And kind of the second part to that too is, if you are all working really hard to achieve whatever you want to achieve in life and the end goal is going to be different, there's going to be new stuff that you can kind of learn at the intersection point of those two separate things, whether it's sport or it's business or it's family or it's your faith. Like, you're trying to reach elite and high levels of whatever it is, and maybe something that works in a different realm can work in your realm because you've never really thought about it like that, because you kind of stay in your own lane or what have you. But maybe what works in your spiritual life can also work in your athletic life or your business life, but you just never viewed it like that. But if you're around people who are in those different kind of lanes but doing the same stuff, like, you can kind of bounce ideas off of each other, and you can be even better as a result of those different ideas, still trying to achieve greatness in different entities. So, like, that was really powerful. And if you really think about it, like, that's so true. Like, I've been talking about creativity the last week as well, and it says the same exact thing. Like, you can't just stay in your own lane if you really want to be innovative and original and creative. Like, you have to have outside perspectives and have different interests if you want to bring all these things together to really create something that's going to be innovative and solve a problem or what have you. But, like, man, like, it's the how that is always going to trump the what for the most part. So, like, just surround yourself with people who are obsessed with being great, rather than just trying to surround yourself with people who have the same end goal in mind, because there's so much you can learn from people. And at the end of the day, like, greatness is greatness. It doesn't matter what it is. And that's why I think, like, when we see celebrities, like, movie stars are friends with athletes and athletes are friends with CEOs and CEOs, like that's why they do it. Now it really clicks for me. Like, they're all ticking the same way, just in a different lane, and they're going to be better as a result of that, because again, they tick the same way, but they're in different kind of things, and as a result, they can kind of mesh this whole thing together and be even better. So, like, man, like, shout out to Originals for bringing that stuff to light, because that's a game changer in my mind right there. So I just kind of went off on a tangent with that, but again, that's powerful stuff to me, and that really clicked for me this morning when I read that. So I hope that makes sense for you. So if you're kind of someone out there like me who likes to be about themselves, like, no, seek out people who are trying to be great no matter what the end entity is, and be around those people. And you can be inspired in different ways you never thought, or, you know, new lanes or ideas can kind of be presented to you that you never thought. Like, that's the game. That's the game. If we can find that stuff, then there you go. We're going to be off and running. So that was number 2. And then lastly, more of kind of a personal, I know these other 2 are kind of in theory and I read them in a book, but this third thing, you know, I'm going to try to end with this stuff with all these episodes as well, more practical and personal based experiences that I found throughout these days, these weeks or whatever. And this idea is this: like, when it comes to money, like, again, for me personally, like, I'm not out here to make $1 trillion. I'm out here to make an influence. That's what I want to do personally and what have you. I know people have different angles when it comes to money, whatever. Like, if money can kind of come with it, that's great. But I've really been praying and thinking on money lately. And, like, what is the purpose of money? What is the end goal with money? Like, what can money really do for you when it comes to influence and your own life and other people's lives and whatever, and just a bunch of different things. And I was watching a video this morning, and I never heard this, and the guy who presented this idea kind of made it seem like it was common knowledge, or maybe it's more of a common theme than I thought it was. But what he says is this: money doesn't necessarily change you, it just exposes you for who you already are. So if you were humble and you were kind and you were nice before you had money, if you get a bunch of money, that stuff is just going to be exposed even more so as a result, right? Or maybe you're a dickhead, or you're mean, or you're ignorant before you had money, and you get more, you are only going to become more of that as a result. Stuff is not just going to magically change because you get a few more dollars in your pocket. And when I heard that, like, again, it was the first time I heard it, so I can't just kind of own it and say it as my own, but my perspective started to change a little bit. Because, like, for me, again, I want to make an influence. So say tomorrow maybe I win the lottery and I get $1 billion. Okay, bet, like, I can give it all away and still be the same person. It's not the money that's changing me, or it's not the money that's kind of the situation. It's more so who you are as a person. So, like, is it okay to make a ton of money, have a ton of money? Yes, it is. It absolutely is. Because, again, it's your money. You can give it all away. Great. And then you have no more. Like, that's your decision. But maybe if your skill sets allow you to make more money versus other things, like, it's okay to make, like, that's okay. It's not the money that's the situation. It's how you act and who you are and what you do with it that really makes a difference and really matters. So, like, for me, that smacked me in the face this morning when I heard it, because for whatever reason, like, I didn't want to be that cat maybe one day that has all this money or whatever. They're not saying that's going to be me, but, like, it's just kind of what I've always thought about. But when I heard that, like, okay, like, it's okay to aspire to want to have a lot of money, because that's not the end goal. That can be a tool or a driver to make a bigger influence or make a bigger difference in the world. And that's a powerful tool that we can utilize in addition to your communication skills and your bit. Like, it's just a different tool. Like, it's not the end goal. So pretty powerful, really powerful for me. And I'm sure there's other people out there kind of thinking the same thing that might gravitate towards that a little bit. So I wanted to express that and kind of end on that note today. So, again, positive and negative experiences shared together is going to amplify what you find in those experiences. So find a group of people that you can rock with, that you can experience stuff with, because you're going to learn a lot from those people as well as experiences even more so as a result of that community. Okay, secondly, shared tactics versus shared end goals. How you go about something is always going to be more important than the what. More times than not. And then lastly, money isn't the entity. It's not the end goal. It's not what changes you. It's just going to expose you for who you already are. So work on yourself, develop yourself, your character, your morals, who you are as a person. And when you get that money in your pocket, that stuff's just going to shine even brighter as a result. So those are the 3 things I got for y'all today. I hope that makes sense. I hope that brings value. And you guys can kind of get a little more FaceTime with me with this stuff. And you get a little bit more out of it as a result. So, as always, appreciate you guys. Happy Tuesday. Have a phenomenal day. Make a difference in somebody else's life as well as your own. And we'll see you guys back here tomorrow, okay? God bless. Make it a great one, y'all. Coach Koob.